Hi everyone, I am foregoing this week's episode to just give a detailed view of what happened this week. I've spoken in the past, I've done a whole episode about our son, Enzo, his autism level, how capable he is, how not capable he is, where we are, what we do with his food, and, everything we do around the house to make sure that he has very little irritation, overstimulation, and because his gut is not great, to make sure that there's very little impact on him. One thing that Enzo has had for the longest time is that he has bad eyesight. Now, how do we know this? You can imagine trying to get a kid who's very sensitive to light to have an appointment was really, really hard. They really have to go old school with him, where we need to kind of hold him down so they can look at the eye, etc., etc. He's had specs in the past. It's not great about having things on his face for a very long time, although we have managed a hat for half a day, goggles in the pool. Those are really massive steps for him, and being able to have those things on him, because it's really just no-go zone generally with everything. About 2 years ago, we did surgery, which was called cross-linking, to improve his eyesight. And it was the impact. It was great. From what I remember, I think I spoke about it in one of the episodes. It was really one of our first super positive experiences in a hospital with medical professionals. He was comfortable. They really catered to him. He had his own room. They darkened things. They played music for him. He came in and out of it really well. It was just an overall positive experience. And then to have him have seemingly a vision improvement, because it was quite noticeable on his face even, was just an absolute win. At that time, we spoke to the professor who did the cross-linking to Enzo, and he said, okay, maybe in a year or so we can look at him maybe implanting lenses. Okay. Now, Enzo rubs his eyes quite a bit. We have tried to counter that with allergy meds, but his appreciation and kindness to his own eyes doesn't clock. Ash then, in this here message, the professor and the doctor who we were with, to just kind of go, look, his eyes are kind of missed again. We spoke about the implants. Is there anything that we can do for this boy? Long story short, we got to the point where it was decided that we were going to do another cross-linking. The problem with implanting lenses is that he is a rubbing of his eyes. There's no way to stop him. He's not wearing specs. He's not wearing a patch. He's not going to do those things to the point that you're going to keep those lenses. Right. They said, okay, let's do the cross-linking again. Because it was such an improvement, let's then inspect the eye while he's under, so that we can actually see what's the state, what's going on, etc., etc. Sounds great. Friday, Sash tries to phone. We're coming there. This kid's not going to be able to eat before surgery. Can we be the first in? Can we just make sure we coordinate? Don't make us sit there for 2 hours. Just, get everything going quite quickly. They weren't available. They had already left. Okay. So we get a message. We have to be there by 7:30, not 8, so that they can administer drops before he goes in for the surgery at 8. We have a timeline. We're good. I'm dealing with him that morning. He is fairly good for a kid that hadn't eaten. He is very routine based. So we have messed with his routine now. He gets up in the morning, he eats, he has his drink, he watches his cartoon. There is a routine, there is a rhythm, and the rhythm has been broken. He was only irritated when I went to the fridge to get something, because I was packing a breakfast for us. Other than that, in good shape, Doing good. Sweetie pie. I'm so happy. We get there. The pre-check-in didn't work for us. Kept giving an error. Pre-admission, sorry. Didn't work. So now we at the hospital having to do that. They're not taking him to the room. They're not. His dad is like doing a standoff in the halls. Still all good. We get to the room. We're in the room. He's always trying to escape. He doesn't want to be somewhere for very long. And we wait. And we wait. They come and administer pre-meds, which we did not have the last time. Well, she's coming back to do drops beforehand, which we also didn't do before surgery the last time. Okay, not our process. We are not doctors. We don't like to give our son medicine, especially of the syrup kind, but here we are. He starts to be a drunkard. Me, I was laughing at him solidly for half an hour, but he was like completely disorientated, didn't know what was going on. Okay, we need him calm. We're doing the drops. This poor nurse is like, thank you so much for being kind and not thinking I'm trying to hurt your son. We're like, 14 years later, we know our boy and you have to do what you need to do. He's going into surgery. Let's just get this done. Right. I think it was like at 20 past, Sasha went to ask, okay, what are we doing? We wanted this kid to go early. We were supposed to be in at 8. And they're like, okay, he's going in 40 minutes. And we're like, okay. He's disorientated, which he doesn't like. Eventually gets us up to where they wheel them in before they take them into the theater. The last time we went into the theater, Ash and we went in together. We were there when they put the gas on him. He bit his father twice, but it went really quickly. He was in, he was out. Okay, so none of the other things that I said happened the last time. The anesthesiologist came to speak to us beforehand the last time in the room, and this time we were kind of in the landing area before you go into theater, where this anesthesiologist came to speak to us. And she was like, did they do the cream on the hands? Because we're going to do the drip. We're like, no, we do the gas. She's like, oh, it takes longer. And we're like, we do the gas. She's like, okay, but look, he's got great veins. The drip is quicker, just a prick, and then he's down. We're not medical professionals, so we don't argue. And she said, if it was my kid, I would do the drip. And we were like, okay. We're both going in. She said, no, it's too tiny. So I said, okay, Sasha, if he's gonna need to be held, if they're putting a drip in, it has to be you because you're stronger. I won't be able to wrangle him. I leave. They wheel them in. I'm standing in the passage and I can hear my child screaming. Sasha's in there way longer than we were for the gas the last time. And I'm sitting there and I can hear him and I can hear him. And Sasha comes out and he goes, that was a fuck up. 2 nurses and him keeping Enzo. This lady trying to put a needle in my son. Got him bleeding. Okay, so we should have stuck to our guns. We know better. This just was never going to work. She doesn't know our boy. And I don't understand these doctors, not her. We've worked with for a while. They know him. They know how hard it is to just do an eye exam. Do you not tell your fellow medical professional, this is the kid we're dealing with. This is why we do it. No. What am I missing? What am I missing? What could we have done better? My husband is seething. He's upset. I said, try and calm down. We're in the room, we're waiting for him. Then they're like, please come up. They're only going to be half an hour. So we go up, we're sitting, we're waiting, and we're waiting. And the anesthesiologist comes out. She is shooketh. I can see it. The makeup, she running. You are shooketh. She is like reasoning through it. I'm watching Sasha, making sure he doesn't basically bite her for what she did. And then she's like, okay, I'm going to give him something to calm him. And next time I'll put something in his thing to give him stronger pre-meds. I'm like, stronger pre-meds? No, girl. We are not doing this. How did you not know what they did the last surgery? I'm a data person. This is data you could have looked at from the last time. Am I missing something? As medical professionals out there, am I missing something? Is this not like data driven? Do we not check each other's work? Do we same hospital? Basically the same doctor. It's not like it's coming from somewhere else. Anyway, she says they're still going to be a while, a half an hour. Suggest a good thing to do blood tests. Enzo's always been pale. He's always he's on a special diet, as I said. He's had an iron deficiency in the past. We're sitting there and the two docs come out. They're like, okay, main doc, look, we could only do one eye. The other eye has had this gray thing. We took him to her. She said it was nothing. It'll grow close. It's actually gotten bigger. And she couldn't do it on that eye with that tear. They did the one eye. She said that from the shape of his eye, like he's got this like heavy concave. So you're trying to press the eye into a better shape. We'll get some of that from the cross-linking. He's actually, because of that tear, his vision's impaired in that eye. It actually has made him more light sensitive. That's something we then found out from the surgery or from him being there. He would actually need a cornea transplant. Okay. Which is just not possible. Just not possible. Because there's stitches in the eye. You lose the eye if you fuck that up. Okay. So not happening. Lens is not a good idea. So we thought, okay, when we see her next week, we'll take the old glasses and we'll make new glasses and we'll try and desensitize him to the glasses. Okay, that's the best option. In this time, this girl's like, oh, I put Bernardo in there and, I've given something downstairs. All this in preparation so that he wakes up calmly. And, mm, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Didn't happen. Boy comes out. He doesn't realize that his one eye he can open. I don't know if he didn't get it or he's so disorientated by all of these drugs, which we always try and limit, and eyes are not opening. He is aggressive. He is vicious. He is essentially fighting for his life and fighting us. For the next hour, we are holding him down, trying to get him not to hurt himself, trying to get him not to pull the patch off, not to pull the drip out. It's just a mess. It's a mess. I've never seen my boy like this. I've never experienced this before. This was not our previous experience. He was coming out of it. He was drowsy the last time, but this time, the aggression, the confusion, the fact that his eyes were patched up, it wasn't the last time. It just was night and day, the two experiences. Eventually got him on his feet, eventually got him walking, little eye open. Then we're like, what are we doing? Let's just get him home, get him comfortable at home. My boy drinks water like he was in a desert for 5 days, and this is the first time he saw water, even though he just had water half an hour ago. That's how he drinks, right? Wouldn't touch it. Wasn't particularly happy about food. But to me, which I have a nice little score. And we're normally very good because we know his go-to when he gets that frustrated. It is the biting. It is the grabbing of hair. It really was a three-man job. I had told Harriet not to come to the hospital. I was so glad that she came. Sasha and I have never fought. Oh, not fight, but just trying to get him not to harm himself. Again, the nurses are coming in. Can we give him an ice cream? Are you guys not talking to each other? That kid is on a special diet. Do you guys know this? Sure. Okay, the person was trying to help. My irritation is again not the first time. One of the nurses we knew from the last time. What are we talking about here? This is not your everyday run of the mill. He's person in, person out. Okay? Just takes a little bit of interest and a little bit of effort from everybody to be on the same page about who this kid is. Does he have pain? He's non-verbal. How? No. Just everybody come together. Kumbaya for 5 minutes. Everybody would have been on the same page. Everybody knows what's going on. The nurse who knew us from before didn't tell her friends that were coming on shift who this kid was. All I ask is a little bit of interest and care when dealing with children or adults like my child and listening to the parents. Because we are not the type of people like, my child don't do that. Like with our neurotypical kid, we don't get demanding with people. So we're not that way with Enzo either. But when we say a thing, we're saying it because it's important. Not to be arsy or those parents. I'm telling you because it's important for you to know to give him the care that he needs. Let's just go on. Okay, so driving him home, I'm trying to keep him from ripping that thing off his eye, which I was not successful in and got head-butted right here. Driving home, tears streaming down my face because I'm hurt, right? Enzo fucking frustrated, screaming. Sasha's trying to drive the car, which I'm just like, just get us home safe. Get home safe. And the next 2 days were just trying to get him to open his eyes. Just trying to get him comfortable. We sat that Monday talking to each other while he was having a clearly drug-induced sleep. Was this the right move? Should we have put him through it? We always trying to do the best for him. We knew the results from this. We had a really good experience. It did not feel like the wrong move. We weren't second-guessing ourselves. I think the thing that we always trying to do is limit his hurt and and make him more capable. This time we felt like we had inflicted it on him. That's just like I should have stuck to my guns, should have said he's doing the gas. We were both there. It was just bad set of circumstances, bad timing, and he looks great now. His eyes are great. I mean, putting in those drops the first day was a two-man job. I can now do it just by tilting his head back and popping it in there. He's generally such a good kid with medication and drops and stuff like this. He's so good for somebody that's that sensitive. But yeah, got a phone call the next day. I said, look, the batch is off. He's like, do you think you can put it back on? I mean, I know Enzo is, clearly you don't. Clearly you don't. Because you asking me that is a futile exercise. Like, no, you don't. You don't know him if you're asking me that and you think that he's capable of keeping that thing on. So no, we're not doing that. And that's where we're at. Lesson learned here for us is one, stick to our guns, gas, nothing pricking my son's skin, anything in the future. It's just the way we're going to go. No pre-med, no overdosing, no extra meds that were put in my son while he was under. No, we will dictate what we want everyone to know pre my son getting there. We will make sure that we are the first in and that everybody's prepared. We'd rather stay home in the comfort of our home as long as possible with him before taking him to a foreign environment. That's going to distress him more. The nurses don't do his pre-ops anyway. Sasha ends up doing it. Oh no, this time the lady did do it. I'd actually never seen somebody take blood pressure from an ankle, from a leg. Never. Because he's a very flailing guy, you know? I always say he stims with his whole body, but he was moving his legs less, so we got his blood pressure done that way. We need to have a chat with the anesthesiologist a day or two before this surgery. I think we must just wrangle people up and make sure everybody understands Enzo the minute we arrive at a hospital, and then make it clear to them it is now their responsibility to let their friends know how we're dealing with this, what we're doing, etc. It will be preemptive next time. For anybody who has a kid like ours, it is really scary taking a kid like ours in for surgery. During COVID, we were super worried about him getting sick and ending up in hospital alone, because that would just not happen. It's not possible. And these are things that, if those people aren't doing it, we need to take the bull by the horns. I really think because the last time was so smooth, we then went, well, it's the same hospital, it's the same doc, it's, that we didn't need to be as insistent, overly prepared, and we should have. So we'll take responsibility for that. It doesn't mean that we're gonna never have a surgery. I mean, her suggesting us doing bloods at that stage was genius. I absolutely thought it was amazing. Sasha was laughing and saying, if you could get a dentist in there while he was under, we would have done that. All these things that are very invasive to, everybody, for me too. But it's super for him. And those chompers be chomping, as I well know now. And we will have to put him under at some stage to have a look at his teeth and get that done. So this isn't our last rodeo, but there's definitely some things that Sasha and I can take away from this. And then just lastly, to the doc who did the surgery, thank you so much for wanting to do this again with us. To Harriet, your presence, love and care for our boy is just unmatched. And you are, as I always say, you are magic. And we love you as part of our family. To Lizzie, who steps in, is too calm for words, and just then gave Harriet a break. And this household doesn't work without all you ladies. And to my daughter, who for 2 days took a back seat and was, I don't mind, Mama, take care of Enzo. And thank you all for listening. I feel human today. But yeah, it's been a week. Please, as always, interact, like, subscribe, comment with the content. And I'll see you guys next week with more from the South African history content, which I am just I'm loving doing it. I'm loving putting it together. I see all y'all going, why would you do this? It's so insightful, points painful, most points inspiring because of where we find ourselves today. A lot of context that's in those videos for where we find ourselves today, and a lot of warnings. A lot of red flag behavior that I see reflecting in other nations. Some of you are saying even in ours. Yeah, it's just so insightful. So I hope you keep enjoying it. I'm enjoying making it, and we'll see each other next week. Bye.